So let's look at, let me restart my session. Oh, sorry, it's case sensitive. I need to switch off my. Okay, I connected to this. Let me start Hive. And meanwhile, I need one more T. I don't know why it's taking this much time today. Maybe am I running anything here? Okay. Is everyone is joined? So shall we start the next topic? Okay. So let's create a table without location, and let's create a table with external table without location. Go here. Debashish Raghu Srikanth. Okay. Now, so what is happening in the external table? So in external table, it is happening such a way that, let's look at guys here. So what it is happening in external table? It is happening, what it is happening in external table?
In external table, if you drop the table, only schema table information will drop. It will be available for other tools as well.
Correct.
That file will be available for other tools.
Correct. So I have a data in HDFS. This is my HDFS. Let's assume that this is my HDFS. I have a data in it. Let me choose a small one. So when I have a data in it, so I'm creating a table using Hive. I'm creating a table using Hive. So what I'm doing here, I'm pointing out to existing data in Hive. From Hive, I'm pointing a data which is available in HDFS using external table. External table. So as soon as you say it is an external table, as soon as you say it is an external table, your Hive will not take control of the table. Your Hive engine or our Hive will not take all control on this data, whatever the data is in HDFS, right? So what will happen? This data may be using by other tools like a pick, like a pick. This tool may be the same data may be using by MapReduce. This data may be using by something else, some other applications. So in this case, your Hive table, Hive external table, just referencing this data, and you can do auto the aggregations, what are the operations you do, and so when you drop the table after your operations are completed, only the table schema and table information will be deleted, but the data will be remain same. So you may assuming that, sir, because you are creating external table with the location, that is why it is behaving like that. So what, sir, if I create an external table without a location, so what will happen, where the table will be created? So I have shown yesterday, when you create external table, when you create external table with the location, your directory, the directory will not be created in HDFS. We have seen with the managed table also. With the managed table, if you specify the location, it will not create any directory. What is the directories that we're talking about? The directory I'm talking about, when you create a table in Hive, with the table name, there will be one directory will be created under user Hive warehouse location. If you create a table without a location, then only it will create the directory. If you create a table with a location, it will not create any directory in the HDFS, because your direct whatever the data you are pointing out by using location, that itself will act as a directory. That itself is a directory. So I no need to refer, I no need to create any new directory. So let's look at, I'm going to create a table. So I want to execute these two test statements because I want to know which database I'm using. So I'm using default, so I have to use test 530 is my database. Let me use this. So now I'm using test 530 is my database name I'm using. So I'm going to create this. I think I have not created this node with, so we have created a table with no location. So let me see this. Select star from. I want to see, is there any data in this? There is no data in this. I just created a blank table. So this blank table, whatever the table I have created without a location, let's go ahead and see in HDFS where it has created where it has created the directory. User Hive warehouse slash testdb test530 dot db slash, and look at here. See here, guys, here it is created category underscore external no data. I mean no location data. So if you can use the load command, you can load the data, and you can, as similar as how you behave before, we can do the same thing. Okay, let me load the data. You can load the data using local, or you can load the data using local, or you can load the data using uh, HDFS. So no matter how you are loading the data. Look at here. I'm going to load the data using, I'm using load command, which is a local. So if I use a HDFS, if I use the HDFS, it will move the data from HDFS to the location. So I'm going to execute this. Data is loaded. Let's look at now. The data is available. Now the data is available. Now the data is available. If you want to see from the browser window, you can also see this. 192 dot. This is my, go to your UI, go to file browse, because it is the problem. 192.168.56.01, and you go to user, you go to Hive warehouse testdb 530, and you see your CSV file is there in this. Yep, again it is a problem because it's the IP address I changed 192. So you can look at the data, it will display the data here. 192.162. It will display the data. Okay, the data is getting displayed here. Now, so I'm sorry, as I said, if I drop the table, external table, will the data will be deleted or not? If I drop the table, will this data will be deleted or not? Let's look at here, guys. Drop table, and what is your table name? The table has been deleted. If you guys see, whenever I was executing drop command before in a manage table, you are seeing something like here moved. It has been moved. It used to see something like the data has been moved from this location to trash. So let me check, is that there with me? Whenever I drop the data, I think it is not the window, that's a different window. Maybe let's, okay, yeah, here. No, this is the different window. If you see here, see guys, I hope you guys are able to see here. When I execute a drop table command, the data has been moved from this location to this location. It was showing before this message. Now, if you see now, I executed the same drop command, but it doesn't show anything. It means it is not deleted. It is not deleted your database. I mean your data and from HDFS. You just refresh this and look at, yeah, still I have a categories.csv where it is there under categories no external. But even though this directory is created, but when we execute drop command using a Hive for external table, the directory is not deleted, the data is not deleted, the data still remains same in the warehouse. Are you guys clear about this? Irrespective of whether you're using location or without location with external table, the data will not be deleted. The data will be remain same in the warehouse system. Clear guys? Only the schema has been deleted, the schema has been deleted, and your, if I let me execute the same command, select, see, no such table not found. Even if you go and see your MySQL, if you go and see your MySQL, the metastore, the MySQL and metastore, the data will not be there, the table entry will not be there. You guys want to look at that? Let's have a look. I hope it's clear guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you can use select command here. Okay, let me this. TBLs, I think TBLs, I think. No. Okay, I need to use, this is my meta store. So this is your tables TBLS. So you see here only the external location, with the location, without location, that is not there because we have dropped it. Even though if you drop this external table with the, whichever having the location, it will not delete the data. It will not delete the data, right? So that is about your external table. That is about external table, irrespective of whether you are specifying the location or not. So there is no, the data changes, there is no change in your HDFS data. So there are something called, we were talking about row level inserts, low level updates, row level deletes. If you guys remember, I said it is started supporting from 0.14, right? So you can also create some dummy table, you can also start, uh, insert the data. Look at here, insert into table name, and you can specify the values like this. So how many rows you want. So let me create some sample table here. I'm creating some dummy table, I mean something, name and age and GPA. Okay, so look at guys here, I'm just creating some table, the name is students, I have created. Now I'm inserting like normal SQL insert. That day we tried, but it has shown me some problem, I don't know why. Let's see today, is there as the same problem exist, or yep, it's inserted. Maybe that day the query was the wrong, or might be, no, yeah, it is launching a map ready shop is for insertion. It is launching a map ready shop. See how many jobs are running? Three jobs. For the three inserts, three jobs. So that's why we will, in the real time, we'll never do a row level insertions, like line by line. We will not do that. Okay, this insertion is taking some time. Let it insert. It will insert the first record, second record, and third record. And also I'll show you in HDFS for each insert how it is displaying in the background. I mean how it is storing into HDFS. We will see that. And also I want to bring to your notice one more thing, that the row level updates and row level deletes, the row level updates and row level deletes will be possible in, when you enable this in the Hive, when you enable these configurations. These are the four configurations. These are the four configurations. You have to enable these four configurations. Uh, these are actually these two only, like your initiator, your transaction manager, this one. So concurrency, bucketing, partitioning, and all is a different, what you call, different properties. We will see what are they are also. Right, insert, it will work to, if you want to do a row level update, if you want to do a row level delete, it will support. Hive is not going to support I'm not saying it's not support, it is support, but the table has to be ORC format. The data, whatever the data I was storing, see here we are storing the data as a text format, right? The data has to be ORC format, then only it will be supporting, so for more understanding about this transaction informations, you can log into uh, this, your drive. You guys know what is the drive. The drive is there. In the drive we have a specific document for it in a Hive notes. You guys can please have a look. Big data solutions, notes, Hive notes. Here the notes, and I'll show you that. It seems it is not uploaded. Oh, if it is not uploaded, I will upload it. Not a problem. It is there with me. Let me see what is there in these notes. Okay, seems it is not there. This is what is Hive. I think it is not there in this. Maybe some other location I uploaded. Maybe let me upload it here. Okay, so anyway, I'll upload that. I'll upload and I'll send it to you, so you guys can have a look on this. So let's go ahead and look. I think it is there. It is there somewhere in the documents, where here or there. So might be confused. And I'll keep a separate document for you guys, not to worry about it. Let's go back and see your job is completed, and let's have a seems that law job is completed. Let's look at what mm, students is my thing. Select store from students. So the three records has been loaded. The three records has been loaded. These are the three records we inserted. If you see, these three records has been loaded. These are the three records. These are the three records. Okay, in the same way you can also do update and delete. I'll be sharing the document, you can see it. So to do that, your table has to be an ORC format, and if you see, let me show you here. Update and delete. Do you guys see anything, something called here update and delete? Update statements in small table. Yep, update delete transactions. It's loading, it's hanged. I'll be sharing this document with you guys. It is hanged. Yep. Okay, your Hive start supporting all ACID properties, and your insert, update, delete can be supported. To do that, these are the configuration has to be enabled. And if you see, your table has to be WARC format. See here, the table is stored as a WARC, then only it will be supported. If it's not WARC format, or it is not going to support. The data has to be ORC, then only it will be supported, otherwise it will not be supporting. You can see here insertion, line by line insertion is there. We have seen just now line by line insertion, and updating and the specific data. You can also update like this, update and your table name and set column name and these things, so it will be updated. So I'll be sharing this document. You guys can have a look on it. Okay, you guys can try it. So before having while you are creating, don't forget that your table has to be ORC. And if you can create a bucketed table as well, but I'll tell you that what is a bucketed, then only you can try it. Bucketed, so there are so you might be surprising what is this bucketed. By looking at this, you may surprising this, what is a bucketing, what is a cluster by, what is a bucketing. Okay, WARC format is a different kind of file format, like your text file. Like we have sequence file format, we have something called RC format, row columnar, optimized row columnar. We have something called parquet format, we have something called Avro format. There are different kind of file formats for better performance. The way they store is different, the way we retrieve is different, the way the compression technique they follow is different. So we will talk about the file formats after some time in the Hive itself. That time we will see how it works. Okay, so let's jump to something called partitioning. something called partitioning Something called partitioning. What is a partitioning in Oracle, I mean in the relational database? Is anyone have idea about it? What is a partitioning? Devashish, what is a partitioning?
Yeah, Ravi.
What is the partitioning in?
Uh, in partitioning, we divide that large set of data into different sets for processing.
We will divide large set of data into small portions. For why we will
Data sets.
the
That's it.
small data sets. Why we will partition? Why will partition? What is the purpose of the partitioning? Okay, let's look at
For
guys.
parallel,
Yeah.
improve the performance, query performance.
Yes, to achieve the query performance. To achieve the query performance, right? So let's say if I have a data in one table which has the so many records are there in the one table. Let's say I have a data in the one table. So if you look at in our Hive, forget about RDBMS, in a Hive, whatever the data I was storing in a table is nothing but a folder, is nothing but a folder. Yes or no? In HDFS it's a folder. In HDFS it is a directory. Let's take ID, name, salary, department, and designation. Let's say, so you have a data in this. A, B, C, something, some data is there in this. Okay, this data is nothing but, let's say it's employee table. It is employee table. This employee table is nothing but, this employee table is nothing but a folder, a directory in a HDFS, correct? The location is slash user slash hive slash warehouse slash your database name. Let's in our case test 530, then emp. It is a directory. Under this directory, whatever the data I have loaded, the data will be there. Correct? Correct. Now, just now we look at, right? Just now we have loaded the data. Just now we loaded the data by using insert command. By using insert command. So which table we have loaded? Let's look at that. The table name is students. Let's look at students. It is a file. For each insert statement, it will create one file. One insert statement have 3 lines, 4 lines, it don't matter. Even if you are inserting line by line, if you are inserting one record by record, it will create a multiple tables here, multiple files here. It will create semicolon. Colon was missing. That's the reason. So it will display 3 records. It means each insert statement it will create on file and HDFS, right? So the same way here, whatever the data is there in your table is nothing but a file in a flat file in our HDFS. Now let's assume that this employee has all the worldwide. So now I want to query. Now I want to query for this the employees from only from either Bangalore, or I want to query the employees only from India. That time what will happen? The table starts scanning from record by record. It will record all the records. Let's say if you have 1 million records, it will start recording all 1 million records. Correct? Correct? Then it will fetch the only India records and it will display in the console. Yes or no? Instead of scanning whole data, let's say you have a data, you already have a data in the partition mode, like a small data set, small directories. So in HDFS ideally it is a directory. In under employee, you have something like you have something like country equal to India. So all in this is also folder. In this you have an India file. Now country equal to US. You have only US records here. File. It is a file. File guys. Okay. Country Canada. You have only Canada files here. If it is there in this case, when you are querying your employee table using select star from emp where country equal to in, as soon as you execute this query, it will go and execute only this directory. It no need to query other directories. It no need to query US, Canada or China, whatever the directory you are telling. Other countries you no need to scan. Why? Because you have partitioned the data. You have partitioned the data on basis of countries. On basis of countries. You have partitioned the data on based on the country. So and you are moving the data into that specific partition. So now all India records are there under the India partition. All the US records are there under USA partition. All the records are belong to Canada is there in Canada. All the records are belong to UK, it's there under UK. So whenever you're going for a scan query or whenever you're going for the query by using where condition for that specific partition, you no need to scan whole 1 million records or 10 million records. You have to scan only that specific country related records, that is which will give you a better performance. That is called partitioning. That is called partitioning. So before you are going to create a partition, you have to look at your data and you have to look at your use cases, like what is the my query pattern. You have to look at your pattern. Are you going by query only country? Yes, create a partition by using country. Are you going to create a partition country plus state? Divide the data in country plus state. And are you going to query using country, state and district? Go and select what is your query pattern. Based on your query pattern, your partition should be there. So it is optimize your query. It is like not optimizing query, it will give a better performance for your query because you are scanning a portion of the data instead of scanning whole data. That is the advantage of having a partition. So let's go ahead and look at our document which is there in the drive. So what it is talking about, what it is telling. Table partitioning means dividing table data into small parts, some parts based on the value of partition column, like it can be a date, it can be country, it can be segregated input records onto different files and directory. What it will do internally, if as I shown in the diagram, as soon as you create a partition, it will create a subdirectories. It will create a subdirectories. So after creating a subdirectories, it will move the data into those subdirectories. It will move in the sense, it doesn't mean that guys automatically it will do. We have to load the data in it. So I have a country of India data, load under the India country. You have UK data, load under UK. You have Canada data, load under Canada by specifying the partition. No, sir, I have whole data global wise. I have the mix of all these countries. I don't know which row is India, which row is UK, which row is US. So what in this case, what I need to do? In this case, you need to create one temporary table. You need to create one temporary table. Then you need to use a query, fetch insert query, and you have to fetch those records and put into your partition table. That is what we have to do. If we have a separate file, so guys, this is very much important, little concentrate. So you have something called data is already segregated. It's a India data. You have some other data which is UK data. You have some data which is US data. You have some data which is Canada data. If the data is segregated separate files, you are getting the data into separate files, you have to load the data using load command. Load into this partition by this. So you have to load this data separately. When you load the data separately, it will go into respective directories. It will go respect to directories. So you have to load it. You have to be very careful while loading the data, whether you are loading India data into India directory or a different directory. That has to be taken care by you. So in this case, so I'm not getting the data into separate files. I'm getting the data in a single file. I'm getting the data into a single file. I don't know which record has a India, which record has a US. What I need to do in this case? In this case, you need to create a temporary table. You need to create a temporary table and keep all this data into this temporary table. Then use insert command by specifying the where condition. Fetch all the India records to India. Fetch all the records US records to US. You have to use that condition. I hope everyone is able to follow. Are you guys able to follow?
Okay.
If anyone confused, please ask me. Please ask me. I will go ahead and explain very detail. Anyway, we are going through the document. The document makes you very much clear. Go ahead, look at guys here. So it will divide and segregate into small subdirectories, and it will store the data into that, right? So based on the date or country, partition can be done based on the more columns also. Not only one or two columns, it can be done more partitions. So for example, in addition to partitioned log records by the date and this, so I'm going to take some example here. That example is, I'll show you the example. I'm country wise I'm taking the records, and we will be seeing that. Okay, so let's say partition divided by the time by using the partition by keyword. So we have something called partition by class. We'll be using that. So if you look at the syntax here, so is everyone able to see the screen properly? I hope. Is everyone able to see screen? So create table, it can be external or managed table. So you no need to, I mean, it's optional. Create table name and your columns, and partition by column and data type. Partition by column and its data type. If you want to give any comment, you can give the comment. So what it is, you are creating a table with the partition and you are specifying the partition column. The one thing we need to remember here is your partition column should not be your table definition. What does it mean, sir? What does it mean? If I am having, if I am having, or let me clear one of, or else let me take a new document here. I don't do this. I have a table. Look at guys here. I have a table, employee ID, name, salary, department, country. Okay, now you are going to these are the columns. Okay, you are assuming that your data you are going to design a partition table. So you want to decide, you are decided that like, oh, now my table has to be like this. So then what you are trying to do, you are going to partition by country. You are going to do partition by country. So your statement should be such a way that where is this? Okay, if your statement should be such a way that create table mp, and you have id is the int or big int, whatever it is. Name is a string or varchar, and salary as a double or float, whatever it is, and department again you can have a string, dpt as a string. Now country should not be part of this table definition. Country should be here partitioned by country, and you specify the type of this, and your row format and all those things, blah 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 is same. That is same. So now when you look at this table creation, your country is not a part of your table definition columns. I mean, your country is not part of the your table columns, but you have a special column which is called country. Now here what is happening internally, what is happens internally when you create a table like this, or when you start loading the data like this in HDFS, it will create employee table in the sense directory here. Under this, in the subdirectory, you will be having something called country. Suppose you're loading the data of India. Let's assume that. IN. This is a directory name, guys. This is a directory name. It will be created like this. It will be created like this. So when you're querying from Hive, when you're querying from Hive, when you're querying from Hive, saying that select star from EMP, select star from EMP, what will happen? It will display all the records along with all the columns. It will display your ID, it will display your name, display salary, department, country as well, country as well. It will display all the record. From the Hive, when you're querying from Hive, you never feel that your country is a different column. You never feel that your country is a different column. Okay, so we will look into more details. We look into more details with a detailed explanation. We will see that. So what is advantage of being a partition? So partition use the distributing execution load horizontally, and you are loading, I mean you are segregating the data in small parts, so it is very easy to scan, which will give a better performance than non-partition table. As data is stored in the slice and slice parts, as query response time will be faster and instead of your non-partition table. So for example, in the large user table where the table is partitioned by country, then selecting users which has belong to India, will just scan the only country India. You don't need to scan whole data. Limitations, we'll talk about the limitations later. First to try to understand what is a partition, then we will see the limitations. Okay, an example is here. So I'm going to uh, create some example like a user table or employee table, whatever it is. So partitioning is used to real-time log file analysis, the segregate the files records based on the timestamp. So where will be using partition more in the real time? If you are going for any of the Hive tables, if you are going for any of the Hive table, or if you are creating Hive table in a real time, you will create with a partition. Why? Because we are dealing with a big data, huge data. When the huge data is getting into your Hive table or database or HDFS, your query has to be very fast, your query has to be quick. So you will divide the data into partitions. It can be based on the time, it can be time based on the date, it can be based on your country, whatever it is, state, district, whatever it is. But we'll try to understand what is a partition first, then we will see the what is the limitation. When you know the limitation, then you will create a partition efficient manner. There are different type of partitions, guys, like a static and dynamic. We will see in detail, so not to worry about that. So another real-time use case is that customer user deals with a partition by country, state or department, right? So this here the partition is like you're partitioning the whole data into small pieces for a better query performance. Better query performance. Let's look at a very simple. I have a data like this. I want to partition based on the country. So if you see the table like this is our the data. This is how the data looks for you. Okay, and when you create a partition table as is shown, I'm going to create a partition table based on the country and the state. Country and state, it means I'm creating a two partitions, hierarchy partition. So if you're creating only one, it's a single partition. If I'm creating a two partition, it means a hierarchy partition. Hierarchy partition is nothing but I have a country directory here, India. Under that I'll be having one more directory, state equal to K. I mean, if I load the data, then only it will be K or IN. So otherwise it will not be. So I'm taking an example. So under EMP is our parent directory. Under that you have a country as one directory. Under that you have something called state as another directory. Now all the state which are related to Karnataka will be there under this. Which are related to AP or Tamil Nadu, whatever you take, it will go into this. Whatever you another state will go into this. That's way. Suppose when you are querying for Karnataka from India, so that your query is like select star from EMP where state equal to country and sorry, country equal to India and state equal to Karnataka. Then what it will do, instead of I'm scanning whole EMP table or a whole India table, I'll directly and go query only this portion of the data. If I go and query only this portion of the data, I will get a better results. I will get a better results. A results in the fast with a better performance. I can say better results in the sense I can get the better. I'll get the more performance. So as I explained before, while you are creating a partition table, keep in mind that your columns, what are the columns you are considering as a partition, those columns should not be included in your table columns, the table definition columns. If you see, this is our whole idea to, you are going to create a table in this first name, last name, address, country, city, state, postal code, phone number, alternate phone, email, and website. Here, you are going to create a partition on country and state. The country and state is not part of your normal table columns. Look at this here. First name is there, last name is there, address is there, city, post, phone to email, and your web is there. But your country and state is the part of partition column. So it doesn't mean that those columns will not be there in our Hive table. No, it will be there in Hive table. When you go and query from the Hive table, it will also see your country and state columns there. Clear? So we will be doing this tomorrow and we will be executing the same, and we will be seeing the partition table and what is the dynamic partition table, and what if I'll get the data in a single file, all the mixed of data is there in the single file, what it will be, how will I do, so how will I segregate into partitions, all those things we'll be seeing tomorrow. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts?
No, Ravi.